Detroit Lions initial 16-man practice squad is here, and there is multiple new players and multiple shockers on this list. Now, I will be going over every player that the Lions did not keep on the 53-man roster or sign to the practice squad. I made a list of that. I could not find a different list that had that, so I created my own. It has every Lions player who did not make the practice squad or 53-man roster, and we got the 16-man practice squad. So, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, starting off, we keep Jake Fromm. Love it. Absolutely love it. Sudfeld is no longer a Detroit Lion. His time as a Detroit Lion has come to an end, and I love it. Practice squad is hype, man. It's hype. I'm not even going to lie. Practice squad is hype because there's so many good players. When the practice squad first got introduced, it was really not that great. Not a lot of great players were getting on the practice squad. But now in 2024, the practice squad is such a key piece to teams as so many good players go on the practice squad. I love that Jake Fromm gets another opportunity with us, and Nate Sudfeld is no longer a Detroit Lion. But this shows you that you cannot really agree or believe with everything that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell said, because Dan Campbell specifically has said multiple things that have been different from what they've done within the past couple of weeks. Just a couple of weeks ago, or just a couple of days ago to a week ago, he said Nate Sudfeld is right now just slightly above Hooker for the quarterback 2 spot, and we will most likely keep 3 quarterbacks, but I don't want to say that 100% yet. And Nate Sudfeld doesn't even make the team. So that just puts that out there, but I'm glad Nate Sudfeld is no longer a Detroit Lion. He's not going to be an NFL quarterback. If he wants another opportunity in the NFL, he needs to go to the UFL. So Nate Sudfeld, go to the UFL, prove that you can be an NFL quarterback, because I've not seen it. And Jake Fromm, good for him, gets another opportunity. And we also signed Jermar Jefferson. This one I like a lot as well. Now, we only keep one running back on the practice squad. I think we usually keep 2. I usually like to keep 2 on the practice squad. I think every 53-man roster prediction I made, I had 2 going on the practice squad, no matter of how many running backs I had on the 53-man. I just love keeping 2 running backs on the practice squad, especially if they're a receiving back, because essentially they're also a receiver. So, Jermar Jefferson, he played great against the Steelers. Definitely deserves another chance. And I'm telling you, man, once Craig Reynolds leaves next year, which I think is going to be the case, Jermar Jefferson will be running back 4. And Sione Vacchi will be running back 3. It's my prediction. Jermar Jefferson as your 5th-string running back is great to have. But with this, unfortunately, we also did not sign a running back to the practice squad that I'll go over in a minute, but it kind of sucks. We also signed Tim Patrick, who knew about that yesterday. Tom Kennedy signs to the practice squad. This one is shocking to me. I don't hate it, but I'm just surprised they brought him back. If I'm not mistaken, he had 1 reception during the preseason. 1. And I did not hear his name much during training camp. So, it goes to show that Tom Kennedy's just a culture guy, team guy, because, I mean, the guy didn't do anything in training camp from what I heard, and he did essentially nothing in preseason. So, not mad at it. He veteran receiver, brings that veteran leadership. He's actually only 28 years old. He just turned 28 a couple months ago. And the guy, I swear, has been in the league for at least 7 or 8 years now. It feels like every year he's either on our practice squad or 53-man roster for the past 7 years. But Tom Kennedy's back, so I'm not mad at it. Just a little bit surprised. We also, you see the man on the thumbnail, we signed veteran wide receiver Allen Robinson. And yes, the Allen Robinson from the Chicago Bears to the practice squad. You thought from my initial reaction I was going to be mad at this? No, I'm actually not. I actually really, really like this signing. Matter of fact, let's go over his stats. We'll go over his stats at the end of this practice squad list. But Allen Robinson is a great addition to this team. Now, I'm not saying, he's immediately going to take wide receiver 4 or 5. No, he's not. But he is a great depth piece. He has not done much for the past 2 years, but he has potential. Just turned 31 years old, matter of fact, a couple days ago. He's 6'3", so he's a bigger receiver. I don't know if he can stretch the field like he used to, but he can still go one-on-one. I love this signing. I really, really do. He's pretty much just a practice squad guy in his career, or sixth-string receiver. But he does have the potential to go to the fourth and fifth string receiver. I don't know about fourth. I think Patrick has got that secured right now, and then I would say Williams has wide receiver 5, assuming Tim Patrick gets signed as the 53-man before the season. But Allen Robinson right now is wide receiver 6 for me, no doubt about it. And we knew this as well. Actually, no, we did not know this. He is not on this list, but we also re-signed. Let me get it pulled up here. Another receiver to the practice squad. And yes, it was a re-sign. And it's one that shocks me. I really like the move, but it absolutely shocks me. Now, this was not reported by the Detroit Lions. They put out their practice squad, but they did not have this guy on their list. So, I don't know if this is official, but it's coming from a trusted source. It's coming from Adam Schefter. Report. Lions are also re-signing wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones to the practice squad, along with the other 15 individuals. Donovan Peoples-Jones is back. How did we get him back? How is Donovan Peoples-Jones back as a Detroit Lion? I don't know. This is still not 100% confirmed. All the other 15 guys that I will be mentioning are confirmed to be on the practice squad. Donovan Peoples-Jones is not. The Lions put out every other 15 individuals on their website besides Donovan Peoples-Jones, so the signing is not official yet of Donovan Peoples-Jones to the practice squad. But if it's coming from Adam Schefter, essentially at 99.9% of the time, it's legit. I mean, he's the most trusted source out there. So, Donovan Peoples-Jones, I don't know when they're going to announce this. Probably tomorrow, because it's very late tonight already, so they'll probably announce it tomorrow. And Donovan Peoples-Jones is back. The problem is, I don't know if he'll be able to last long. From what I'm understanding from the practice squad rule, once you play one game, teams can snag you off the practice squad. So, they are all your own until they play one game. So, example, last year, Trevor Nowaski. Matter of fact, we actually picked up Trevor Nowaski on waivers today from the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not going to make a separate video about that, but Trevor Nowaski, we picked him off waivers from the Cardinals. He was the 53rd guy we were potentially looking at, which means we now have 7 linebackers on the 53-man roster. Don't know what that's about. 6 is already a lot. And the 6th guy from last year was Pittman, so the 6th guy from this year was Ben Neiman. And Pittman only played on special teams. He didn't take any snaps on defense. So I thought Neiman was going to be, but we bring in another linebacker. So I don't know if Ben Neiman's going to get waived or if Rodrigo is going on IR or something because he's been dealing with an injury. I don't know what's going on. But Trevor Nowaski's back, and I really like it. But Trevor Nowaski, for example, he was on our practice squad. We elevated him for a game. And then a couple days later, he got claimed, or the Cardinals snatched him off our practice squad because he played a game. So, from what I'm understanding from the practice squad rule, once a player on your practice squad plays a game, then they can be snatched off of your practice squad. So, say, for example, we kept Allen Robinson on the practice squad. We elevated him for a game, and he absolutely balled out. But we did not choose to sign him to the 53-man roster. Any team can snag him for the practice squad. So that's what I'm understanding from the rule, and I'm pretty sure that is the rule. But yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones is back. So, I mean, I'm very happy. A lot of Lions fans aren't really that happy. They wanted him to be gone, but I think he deserves another opportunity. We also decide to bring back tight end Shane Zylstra and tight end James Mitchell. Love these moves. Now I don't have a problem with keeping only 3 tight ends, and one of them essentially being a fullback, and Parker Hess. Now I don't have a problem with it. I did not expect James Mitchell to pass through waivers. I thought he was going to get picked up. He didn't. He passed through waivers. He reversed to our practice squad. I thought Zylstra could also got picked up on waivers. So, we get 2 of our tight ends back, and any of those tight ends, I would say even before the season starts, could very well take Parker Hess's spot. Parker Hess, in my opinion, even though he made the 53-man roster over those guys, he is not a lock to be tight end 3 with what we got about a week and a half before game 1. So they're not a lock for me quite yet. Parker Hess will most likely be our tight end 3 heading into the Rams. but there's a chance that he won't be. Just saying. We also decided to bring back interior offensive lineman center by Guy Kingsley Ekukan. Love that move. One of my favorite practice squad moves. We only decided to sign 2 offensive linemen to the practice squad, and Ekukan was one of them, so I'm very pumped about that. We also decided to sign Jamarco Jones to the practice squad. I was shocked about that one, but I was very happy about it because I thought Jamarco Jones played very well against the Chiefs. He wasn't on the team when we played the Giants, and then evidently he got an injury in practice before the Steelers game, so he missed that game, and Giovanni Manu and Colby Swirsdall started the whole entire game at tackles. But Jamarco Jones played very well against the Chiefs. Former 5th-round pick has started quite a few games, actually, for the Seahawks. So I love that move. It brings some veteran leadership to that offensive line room, and potentially will come onto the 53-man roster at some point because, I'm going to be honest, he was probably, from the one game we saw, he's our best offensive lineman through preseason. Obviously, you can only judge off of one game, but he was really good out there. We also decided to bring back Isaac Unkwu to the practice squad and Mitchell Agude. Love these 2 moves, but this means that Matthew Betts is no longer a Detroit Lion. I just spoiled one of them right there. But Isaac Unkwu is back, had a 3-sack preseason game. I'm not as big of a believer in Isaac Unkwu as a lot of you guys are. He is very situational like me, just like James Houston, in my opinion. I do like Mitchell Agude, though. He showed a lot of potential during training camp, and I thought he did do some good things during preseason, but he still needs to work on a lot of things. But I think if he can develop one more year on the practice squad, he could turn into something next year. So really like those moves. We also decided to sign not veteran, this is actually 2nd year, but we decided to sign Chris Smith to the practice squad, bring back Chris Smith. This is the one move I don't understand. I don't understand this move. The only part of me that somewhat gets it is that Broderick Martin got placed on IR, and Chris Smith is essentially our biggest defensive tackle behind DJ Reader and Broderick Martin. So that's the only part of me that gets Chris Smith come back, but he showed nothing to me in preseason last year. This preseason, I saw a little bit more from him on the field and from play. I think he did a little bit better this year on play. I think he did make some nice tackles. But did he do enough to make the team? No. He did not do enough to make this team. I don't know. I'm not mad at it. There's a lot of other guys that would have been more mad at it if they made the practice squad. I wouldn't have done that. Because we decided to keep 3 defensive tackles on the practice squad. Or sign 3 defensive tackles. Another one was Kyle Pico. Was thought to make the 53-man roster. He did not. He gets signed to the practice squad. So that's another defensive tackle. We also decided to bring back Pat O'Connor to the practice squad. He's kind of like a Kaminsky and a Josh Paschal that'll play defensive tackle and defensive end. I don't like Chris Smith. That's the only move on the practice squad that I don't agree with whatsoever. Every other move, I'm 100% fine with, or I do like the move. But Chris Smith, I don't really understand that move. I think there's a lot of other guys you could have put on the practice squad that we didn't with that last spot. And with the last pro we decided to sign to the practice squad, to the initial practice squad, is C.J. Moore. Decided to bring him back. I like it. I do. I'm going to be honest. I do like it. Great special teamer, not much of a defender, not really a cover guy. But C.J. Moore is a great special teamer. Great fake punt guy. That's mostly what he's known for is for fake punts. But I'm glad he's back. Veteran leadership. Can teach the young guys like Brandon Joseph, Warren Strickland. So I like the move. And let's take a look at Allen Robinson's stats here real quick before I forget about it. Not going to take too long at this because, the guy has been in the league forever. So, you can base it off of a lot of years. Allen Robinson, 31 years old, just turned 31 a couple days ago from Penn State. Former second-round pick of 2014 by the Jags. His rookie season, 548 yards, 2 touchdowns. Second season was his best career season, 1,400 yards on the dot, 14 touchdowns. Third year, 880 yards, 6 touchdowns. Fourth year, only played 1 game. Fifth year, when he went to the Bears, had 754 yards, 4 touchdowns. And then 1,147 yards, 7 touchdowns. 1,250 yards, 6 touchdowns. Last year in Chicago had 410 yards and a touchdown. Then he went to LA in 2022. Had 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then he played in Pittsburgh last year, played every game, had 280 yards, 0 touchdowns. So definitely the guy his career is coming to an end, but he's a tall receiver, big body receiver. Every receiver that we signed to the practice squad is a big body. Tim Patrick 6'4", Allen Robinson 6'3", and Donovan Peoples-Jones is 6'2". Tom Kennedy's not a big receiver, he's 5'10", but so that's really good. In my opinion, we're still short of receiver though, because we signed 4 to the 53-man roster, or we kept 4 on the 53-man roster, and we signed 4 to the practice squad. Usually we have 9 or 10 total on the practice squad and 53-man roster. Right now we only have 8, so I still think we'll bring in one more receiver, whether that's the 53-man roster or practice squad, at some point before the season. They most likely won't play that receiver against the Rams, but I do believe we'll bring in one more guy to the practice squad most likely before the Rams game. And these are all the players that we, if I can get this pulled up here. Don't know if this is going to pop up. Hopefully it does. It does not. Okay, I don't know how to show you guys this list because it was on a different search engine. But these are the players that are no longer a Detroit Lion, which means they're not on the 53-man roster or did not get signed to the practice squad. That's Nate Sudfeld, sorry. Zonovan Knight, Jake Funk. Zonovan Knight really sucks as the running back I was talking about. I wish he would have made the practice squad. That was kind of the biggest if I had. I really wish Bam Knight would have made it. Very underrated running back, had a lot of potential. But he's no longer a Detroit Lion. Jake Funk, Caden Davis, Darius Fountain, Maurice Alexander, he's going to find a home somewhere else. Had a very good preseason. Jalen Calhoun, Sean McKeon, Brian Hudson, Duke Clemens, Jake Burton, Matthew Betts, Abraham Beauplan. Evidently, I heard from, I forget what source, I thought it might have been Tom Pelissero, said the Lions wanted to bring him back on the practice squad and they didn't. So, again, can't trust. I mean, that could be on the source, but I don't know. Ty Summers is no longer a short line. He ended up signing with the Giants practice squad. Joel Ayubunaway, Stephen Gilmore, that's the other guy I would have potentially had making the practice squad. He didn't have a good preseason, but I still think you could have developed him into something, especially since he's Gilly Locke's brother. So I would have took out Chris Smith on the practice squad and signed Zonovan Knight to the practice squad, and probably also would have took out Pat O'Connor and would have signed where's he at? Am I forgetting him? Skillmore to the practice squad, I was going to say. We also get rid of Asang Bassi, Javelin Gertie, Rashad Wildgoose, Sheelan Garnes, and Scott Daly, who ended up signing with the Bears practice squad as the Bears starting long snapper got placed on season-ending IR. So Scott Daly is their new long snapper. So those are all the players that are no longer a Detroit Lion on the practice squad, 53-man roster. Hopefully they all find new homes, obviously. The players that are no longer Detroit Lion that I wish still were on the practice squad would have been Zonovan Knight and Stephen Gilmore. Ty Summers, obviously, but since we picked up Nowaski, I'm not too concerned about that anymore, that we didn't keep him around. But I think overall this has probably been the best practice squad we've had in a very, very long time. So leave your thoughts, comments down below. Do you approve of the Allen Robinson signing? And do you agree? Would you... And I want to hear your thoughts on Chris Smith in the comments. Am I the only one who's not seeing anything from Chris Smith so far throughout his 2-year career? Leave your thoughts, comments down below. One Pride, go Lions.